The sun was dipping low over the sleepy town of Cedar Hollow, casting long, golden shadows on the cracked pavement and flickering streetlights that barely pierced the evening gloom. Evelyn had always loved this quiet place, a refuge after years of service overseas, a place where she could heal and find peace alongside her loyal companion, Rex, a large German shepherd with eyes that had seen more than most could imagine. Rex wasn't just any dog. He was a retired military working dog, once a hero trained in tracking, protection, and silent communication in the harshest combat zones. Tonight, however, peace was shattered as Evelyn walked home from the small grocery store, clutching a brown paper bag. The sudden rustle from the alleyway startled her. Before she could react, two shadowed figures lunged from the darkness, their grip rough and desperate, pulling her away from the street and into the cold night. The kidnappers, seasoned in crime, but utterly ignorant of the dog that had quietly followed Evelyn at a distance, didn't realize that Rex was more than a pet. He was a protector, a sentinel molded by years of battle, tuned to every nuance of threat and loyalty. As the men dragged Evelyn into a waiting van, Rex froze for a moment, then burst into action with a ferocity born from countless missions, his instincts overriding years of peaceful retirement. He darted after the van, his paws pounding the pavement with unmatched speed, nostrils flaring as he picked up her scent through the cool night air. Inside the van, Evelyn struggled, heart pounding with fear and desperation. But the growl that erupted outside the vehicle stopped everyone cold. The kidnappers glanced nervously out the windows, the piercing eyes of a warrior dog glaring back at them. Rex wasn't about to let his human go without a fight he'd trained for all his life. As the van screeched to a halt, Rex crashed through the rear doors with bone-shattering determination, jaws clamping down on the nearest attacker's arm, forcing a scream that echoed down the empty street. Evelyn's fear slowly gave way to hope as she saw her protector, not just a dog, but a guardian shaped by years of sacrifice, now ready to face danger head-on. What followed was a tense, thrilling showdown where Rex's bravery and training turned the tide, outmatching the outlaws who had no idea what kind of opponent they were facing. It was more than a rescue. It was a testament to the unbreakable bond between a soldier and his dog, between a woman and her silent hero, a story that would ripple through the town of Cedar Hollow for years to come. This night marked not just a rescue, but a rebirth of courage and trust, reminding everyone that heroes come in many forms, some with 4 paws, and a heart full of unwavering loyalty. As the van skidded to a jarring halt on the uneven gravel outside an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of Cedar Hollow, the kidnappers scrambled out, their panic evident despite their tough exterior, while Rex, sensing every shift in tension and danger, kept a low growl rumbling deep in his throat, his muscles coiled like springs, ready to unleash the fury of a dog who had been trained to protect at all costs. Evelyn, though trembling, knew the bond she shared with Rex was their greatest strength. Her whispered reassurances and gentle touch on his fur a beacon in the chaos. The kidnappers, hardened by their criminal pasts, but unaware of the extraordinary dog they had provoked, moved hastily, dragging Evelyn inside the dim, graffiti-covered building with cold, unforgiving hands, their boots kicking up dust as they shoved her against the rough concrete wall. Rex was just outside, ears pricked, nostrils flaring, as he caught the faintest sense mingled with fear and resolve. Every instinct screamed at him that time was running out. Inside the warehouse, the kidnappers argued loudly over their demands and the ransom that might soon arrive, their voices echoing off rusted metal and broken windows. But every word was drowned out in Rex's world by the thudding beat of loyalty that pulsed through his veins. He circled the building, silent and shadow-like, eyes scanning for an entry point, a weakness to exploit. His past missions had taught him patience and strategy. He wasn't a reckless protector, but a calculated guardian, whose every move could mean the difference between life and death. Meanwhile, Evelyn searched for any opportunity to help, to stay strong not just for herself, but for Rex, whose presence was a lifeline in the darkness. She could feel his watchful gaze, even through the cracked walls, and it steadied her, reminding her that she was never truly alone. As minutes ticked by, the kidnappers grew more careless, their confidence buoyed by ignorance and greed. They failed to notice the faint scrape of Rex's nails against the metal door frame, the whisper of his breath as he steadied himself for what would come next. Then, in a blur of motion, Rex breached the warehouse's defenses, crashing through the side door with a force born of desperation and love. Chaos erupted. Shouts, curses, and panicked scrambling met the fierce growl and snapping jaws of a dog who had fought battles that these men could never comprehend. Rex's training shone through every precise movement. A calculated bite here, a nudge there, never reckless, but always effective, disabling and disarming with the relentless force of a guardian, unwilling to yield. Evelyn watched in awe and relief as her loyal companion fought for her life, their bond visible even in the frenzy. She called his name softly, her voice steady and filled with the promise of safety. One by one, the kidnappers fell back, overwhelmed by Rex's strength and unwavering courage, until only the leader remained, a man with cold eyes and a cruel sneer, clutching a knife and advancing toward Evelyn with violent intent. But Rex was faster, intercepting the threat with a powerful leap, pinning the man to the ground with growls that spoke of battles fought and lives protected. Police sirens wailed in the distance, alerted by a vigilant neighbor who had seen the suspicious van and heard the commotion. And the kidnappers were quickly subdued, their plans dismantled by the very dog they had underestimated. As officers led the criminals away, Evelyn knelt beside Rex, tears streaming down her face as she hugged the dog who was more than a pet, a hero who had risked everything. The town of Cedar Hollow would remember this night not as one of fear, but as a testament to the unbreakable bond between a woman and her war dog. A story of bravery, love, and the fierce protection that only true loyalty can bring. In the days that followed, Evelyn and Rex became local legends. Invited to schools, community centers, and hospitals where Rex's calm presence helped heal more than just physical wounds, reminding everyone that courage isn't just found in battlefields, but in everyday acts of love and protection. The scars Rex bore were marks of honor, a silent story of sacrifice and resilience, mirrored in the grateful smiles of those he had saved. And through it all, the quiet understanding between Evelyn and Rex grew deeper, their shared pasts and new beginnings woven into the fabric of Cedar Hollow, forever changing lives and inspiring hearts. This was more than a rescue. It was the beginning of a new chapter where hope, courage, and the extraordinary bond between humans and their canine companions shone brighter than ever before. In the quiet aftermath of that harrowing night, as dawn's first light stretched gently across Cedar Hollow, Evelyn and Rex found themselves at the center of a whirlwind of emotions and newfound attention that neither had anticipated, but both welcomed with open hearts. The town's residents, once indifferent or distant, now gathered with warm smiles and tears of relief, their admiration for Rex growing not just from his heroic rescue, but from the visible bond of trust and love that shone between the woman and her dog. A bond forged through years of hardship, sacrifice, and unspoken understanding. Despite the media's interest and the offers of recognition from law enforcement and veterans organizations, Evelyn remained humble, insisting that Rex's actions were simply the instinct of a dog who loved his human family, a protector who had always done what was necessary to keep her safe. Yet beneath that modesty lay a deep reservoir of gratitude and a slowly kindling hope. Hope that after so much pain, they could build a life free from fear and full of the quiet joys that had once seemed impossible. Days blurred into weeks as the routine of normal life cautiously resumed. But for Evelyn, the scars of the kidnapping lingered, not in her body, but in the shadows of her mind. The occasional flash of panic, the haunting memory of cold hands dragging her away in the night. It was Rex who saved her again and again, not with teeth this time, but with presence. His calm, steadying gaze, and soft nuzzle in moments when the past threatened to swallow her whole. Together, they attended therapy sessions and community events, Rex's gentle demeanor comforting children and adults alike. His history as a military working dog, inspiring conversations about courage, healing, and the invisible battles many face after trauma. Slowly, Evelyn began to open her heart again, rediscovering trust and peace not just through Rex's companionship, but through new friendships that blossomed from shared stories and mutual support. One particularly crisp autumn afternoon, as leaves painted the streets in fiery reds and golds, Evelyn found herself walking Rex through the town park, where she had first brought him years ago after his retirement. A symbol of fresh starts and new beginnings, they stopped by a small memorial dedicated to service animals, and Evelyn knelt, tracing the names etched in stone, her fingers trembling slightly. Rex sat beside her, head resting on her lap, as if sensing the weight of history and hope mingling in that moment. She whispered a silent thank you for every day they had been given together, for the second chance that had come wrapped in fur and fierce loyalty. But life had more in store for them than simple peace. In the weeks that followed, a local rescue group reached out to Evelyn with an urgent plea. A litter of puppies abandoned on the edge of the nearby forest, their cries echoing through the night, weak and vulnerable. Without hesitation, Evelyn and Rex answered the call, setting out into the chilly evening to bring the tiny lives to safety. It was there, in the quiet wilderness, with the moonlight filtering through the trees, that Evelyn truly saw the magic of what her bond with Rex represented. A legacy of protection and love that would now extend to a new generation of souls in need. The puppies, huddled and trembling, were welcomed into Evelyn's care, and Rex became their guardian, patient and gentle, despite his powerful frame. Watching Rex nurture the fragile pups, Evelyn realized that the story of a retired war dog wasn't only one of battles and bravery, but also one of healing, compassion, and hope reborn. As the months passed, the once frightened puppies grew into playful, confident dogs under Rex's watchful eye, and Evelyn's devoted care. Their joyous barks filling the home with life and laughter. News of their rescue and rehabilitation spread throughout Cedar Hollow, inspiring others to open their hearts and homes to animals in need. Evelyn and Rex found purpose beyond their past trauma, their story a beacon of resilience and kindness that rippled through the community, reminding everyone that even in the darkest moments, the light of love and loyalty can shine the brightest. Together, they continued to walk through life's challenges, a testament to the enduring power of the human-animal bond. A bond that can transform fear into courage, loneliness into companionship, and despair into hope. Their journey was far from over, but Evelyn knew that with Rex by her side, no obstacle was insurmountable. And as the sun set over Cedar Hollow, casting a warm glow over the horizon, the silhouette of a woman and her dog stood tall and proud. Symbols of strength, redemption, and the incredible story of a retired war dog whose heart never stopped fighting for the ones he loved as the seasons cycled through their endless dance, bringing with them the crisp chill of winter and the gentle warmth of spring. Evelyn and Rex settled into a rhythm that felt both new and familiar, a life rebuilt from the shattered remnants of fear and uncertainty into a tapestry woven with threads of love, trust, and unbreakable loyalty. The community of Cedar Hollow, once strangers who merely glanced with polite nods, had transformed into a family knit tightly by shared stories of hope and healing, with Rex and Evelyn at its heart. Their journey inspiring countless others to open their homes and hearts not just to animals in need, but to the power of second chances. Amidst this renewal, Rex's presence remained a steady beacon for Evelyn. His watchful eyes, once hardened by the rigors of war, now softened with affection and wisdom, mirroring the profound bond they had nurtured through trauma and triumph alike. The rescue puppies had flourished, their playful antics and joyful barks, a testament to the healing power that kindness and patience can bring to the most fragile souls. And Evelyn found herself dedicating her days to advocacy, educating the town's children and adults about the sacrifices of military working dogs, the importance of rescue efforts, and the deep emotional lives these animals lead beyond their heroic deeds. Yet beneath the surface of this serene life lingered the ever-present echoes of their ordeal, the silent moments when Evelyn would pause, heart tightening with memories that only Rex seemed to fully understand. His presence, a balm against the shadows that sometimes crept into her thoughts. It was in these moments that their relationship transcended the ordinary companionship of pet and owner, becoming a profound communion of spirits bound by shared resilience and unwavering loyalty. One late afternoon, as a golden sun dipped low behind the hills, painting the sky in hues of amber and violet, Evelyn and Rex found themselves drawn to the edge of the forest, where their journey together had once taken a terrifying turn. The place where she had been taken, and from which Rex had snatched her back with ferocious courage and steadfast love. Standing there, the wind whispering through the trees, Evelyn allowed herself to feel the full weight of their survival, a gift she had once feared was lost forever. And with tears glistening in her eyes, she knelt beside Rex, running her fingers through his thick fur as if to say thank you for every breath, every heartbeat shared. As twilight deepened, a new figure approached, a young girl from town, clutching a handmade collar decorated with tiny paw prints and a silver tag inscribed simply with hero. She stepped forward shyly, her voice soft but steady as she thanked Rex for saving her mother, her words stirring the hearts of everyone nearby and reaffirming the ripple effect of courage and compassion that one dog and one woman had set in motion. The moment crystallized into a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in the face of darkness, the bonds we forge, whether human or canine, hold the power to change lives, heal wounds, and illuminate the path forward. Months later, when Rex's body began to show signs of age and weariness, Evelyn cared for him with a tenderness reserved for those who have given their all, knowing that the time would come to say goodbye to her steadfast protector and beloved friend. Their final days together were filled with quiet moments, soft pats, gentle words, and the comfort of shared presence. A testament to a lifetime of devotion that no words could fully capture. When Rex finally passed, the town mourned alongside Evelyn, honoring the dog whose bravery had saved a life and whose heart had taught an entire community about the power of love and loyalty. In the wake of her loss, Evelyn found strength in continuing their mission, dedicating herself to the rescue and rehabilitation of dogs in need, carrying forward Rex's legacy through every wagging tail and hopeful gaze she encountered. The story of the retired war dog who had saved his human against all odds became a legend whispered in Cedar Hollow and beyond. A story not just of heroism, but of healing, resilience, and the extraordinary bond between a woman and her dog that transcended even the darkest of nights. And as Evelyn stood one evening beneath the stars, a new litter of puppies nestled safely at her feet, she felt Rex's spirit alive in every breath of wind and every heartbeat, a reminder that love never truly ends, but lives on, infinite and unwavering, in the stories we share and the lives we touch.